Alright guys, so what's up? This is the first time that I'm deciding to just directly talk to you guys about tattoos and not like make it pristinely about one of the tattoos that I'm doing currently. It is the end of the year and I'm getting so many questions from how I started my apprenticeship to how I became a tattoo artist officially to how many people I tattoo in a year, how many people I tattoo in a day, questions about my portfolio, questions about how I maintain life, and questions about living in New York as a tattoo artist or being a black female tattoo artist. All these questions are within reason. I think that when someone's curious about something, they do deserve to know the honest to God truth about it. And I have to say that my honest recommendation for becoming a tattoo artist is not to become a tattoo artist. This might seem very out there for some of you who are like, well, you're a tattoo artist. Why wouldn't you want other people to become tattoo artists? It's not that I don't want you to become a tattoo artist. It's just that it is a lot that comes with tattooing. Me personally, as a black female tattoo artist, I've had nothing handed to me. I had a full apprenticeship, a consecutive one, from different studios, and it ended up being the last studio in 2015 that I spent 5 months at, where I would end up getting licensed, signed off to go be licensed at New York Health and Hygiene, which is in Harlem, which is by the state. So at the end of the day, even if you do have a tattoo apprenticeship, it really just depends on your state, where you are, and how your mentors go about finishing up your apprenticeship before releasing you into society and the world to fuck up and tattoo everyone. Now, I get a lot of people that believe that I am self-taught, and while I am pretty much a self-taught artist, I did have the 4 fundamentals of art in high school, which is like taking your college 101s before you graduate. And I stayed with my art teacher instead of going and taking like digital programming and stuff like that at the vocational schools, because I wanted to learn these important fundamentals of different styles, from different cultures, and just different time periods of artwork. My ultimate inspiration, and I think everyone should just find their ultimate inspiration for art in general before even picking a subject matter to go with art as far as like a job goes. I think you should pick what makes you happy. I personally wanted to be a video game designer, and I ended up becoming a tattoo artist after listening to teachers, substitute teachers, and guidance counselors that changed my mind about what type of art style I wanted to do. And make no mistake, they weren't fond of tattooing either. So it was pretty much 2 things growing up that was a big deal to me, and that was video games and eventually would be tattoos after doing my senior project, where I said during my thesis, the femininity, pinup girls bring something like femininity to the tattoo industry, and I felt like their imagery was important because it's such a rustic field, it's such a man dominated industry, a male dominated industry, that I just felt like pinup girls brought this real sensitivity to it. And I felt like there's these grown men that worship these women, and if you go into the history of pinups, like overseas and sailors and what it came from, and you know, them needing their little fix while being overseas, you just begin to realize how much it melts down that entire facade of masculinity that is the tattoo industry. Anywho, back to how I got my apprenticeship. So I started in South Carolina, and I had a difficult time picking up an apprenticeship because stupidly I picked up machines before truly investigating a couple studios. And honestly, I turned to picking up my own machines simply because of the sexism that I had raced walking into it. I mean, I'll never forget the first studio that I walked into in South Carolina was just so shocked to see me that the first thing they said to me was, we would expect someone like you to be scared to be in here, and it's just baffling how you're here. And then when they saw my portfolio, one of the artists really took advantage, kind of took me under his wing, but in his own sick way. And I say in his own sick way because he had kids my age at the time. So it's like, if you're looking at someone and you're being a predator and you're looking at them because they're a female and they're a black female and you've never seen that before and it's a bit exotic to you, and your brain just doesn't switch to art, it switches to what can I take from this individual. I mean, dude, when I say that apprenticeship was all types of wrong, I was driving this guy around because his Explorer had broken down, and he told me it was my responsibility as his apprentice to make sure that he got to work. And honestly, it's really not your responsibility to make sure that your artist is getting to work. It's his fault that he's in a place like South Carolina with a broken down car. You can't blame your apprentice for that. Also, there was the factor of money. When I first started apprenticing, every single studio that I went into wanted $3,000 to $5,000 in South Carolina. And that's really how they make their money, is through apprenticing these artists, getting them licensed and ready out to go and be tattooers, because some people aren't tattoo artists, which I will get into the differences in just a moment in between a tattooer and a tattoo artist, and why there's a difference and why you should know that. So yeah, and I end up telling my dad and my mom about this guy being difficult, and they end up swooping me out that situation. They did not want me to go to any more tattoo shops after that experience, and they were hell-bent on kind of like keeping me situated to where I wouldn't be able to access shops. So I picked up a lot of extra work, and I've been working a lot, and the job that I had gotten, Red Robin Yum, they had asked me my aspirations, and this is in South Carolina. They asked me my aspirations at the Greenville facility. So I went to the next shop, which all I remember is the owner's name being Cheesy. I don't even remember the name of the shop. I think it's like Tattoo Gallery or something like that. And the artists there were a bit different. They were more laid back. There was one female artist there, and I remember she was always going through like her old treasure trove of stuff that she had from her apprenticeship. And I remember thinking at that moment, well, I'm going to have a lot of crap with me, like drawings and stuff, because, you know, at that time, I was literally just playing with Prismacolors and learning how to blend properly. I did not exactly know how to use the variations of different values of advanced placement pencils, in which I would not learn that till my third consecutive apprenticeship in New York. And I ended up leaving Cheesy's studio because Cheesy, of course, his artists started demanding money. And I'm going to be totally real with you. I was paying my car payment. I was paying my cell bill. I was paying my parents what I could to stay with them. And I was trying to maintain my job on the weekends, apprentice during the week. I told them, like, I'm in here for knowledge. I'm not really in here to pay you guys. And one of the things when you're paying, and even when you're not paying, you can get tattooed at that studio. It's kind of like a rule. You get tattoos from the studio that is apprenticing you. So there's that. And then you're also, what they're supposed to do with the money is they're supposed to buy the supplies, or take you to buy the supplies that you will need for working in the shop once they deem you worthy enough to start working. And this is also very important because a lot of people are going to misconceptualize when they should start tattooing. I had walls that I could not move. I had paintings that exceeded my size in width and length. If I stretched out my arms or stood on my tippy toes, I had work that was way bigger than me. Work that I had to take pictures of because it just can't be moved. Like, this was positioned up against a expedition. That's how big that piece was. And it was different types of pieces as well, different mediums. And I was drawing for a long time before even getting out of high school. So, you know, I had this collection body of work that I had presented to each studio, and it was usually enough to get me in the door for at least 3 months before a shop was like, money, we need money now, and you've been in here long enough. Okay, so to now get into the fun part, which is when you do find the right studio and you are apprenticing successfully. I'm going to tell you what happened when I found the right studio, and it's definitely not going to be what's going to happen for you because times have changed, technology has changed, people change, And unfortunately, tattoo artists, we just get worse as far as attitude goes because we put up with a lot. And this is when it comes down to tattooers and tattoo artists. Now, like I told you guys, I had an extensive portfolio going into the situation. You're gonna have people, and this is all the time when I'm tattooing people, I can literally like call off artwork on my wall where people are convinced that they would be excellent tattoo artists just simply because they see me doing it, and they don't know what techniques I'm using, they don't know what I'm using, they just know like, ooh, that's the push start of what you're doing, so this must be easy. And that is so not the case. It took me, it's going on 9 years to develop what I'm doing. So if it took me 9 years to develop what I'm doing, I know, my father used to tell me this all the time growing up. People are gonna see what you do. You make it look easy, they think it's easy. And this is where I have to start gatekeeping with people, especially my canvases, because I'm like, I don't have time to be fixing everything that you wanna fuck up because you were a bit nosy and trying to apprentice yourself while I was working on you. And I have to say that this is where all the questions that people ask get really annoying, and I just want people to get tattooed and not ask questions. That's not gatekeeping. That is me focusing on my job to do it the best of my technical ability that I can, and me not playing into the whole, I want to be your apprentice. I only got like 2 or 3 drawings, and my son draws, and my daughter draws, and my cousin draws. That's not what's going to make you a good tattoo artist. If you really want an apprenticeship, I would say open up a book of work to show an artist. Like, I don't want to hear about what you can do. I want to see what you can do. I want to visualize it. Same time I tell people with my tattoos, there are people that see me randomly on the street, especially during the summer when I have on like shorts and all my tattoos are exposed. And, you know, that gives them a chance to really be like, oh my gosh, she must be a tattoo artist. And it's like, you know, I don't like collecting people like that because you never know what the fuck you're taking off the street, especially here in New York. People are serial killers, they're homicidal, they're crazy, they're mentally unstable, bipolar, mental issues out the ass. And personally, I don't like to explore all that with people. And that's really honestly how you get to know how damaged people are, is because tattoos is a bit of a spiritual healing journey. So when someone is like octopusing you, or I'm gonna say squid, if they're like squidding you and they're like, no, I want you to tattoo me, blah, 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 can I see your portfolio? I am an artist that you can Google my portfolio. All you have to do is tap into the hashtag DaMouseOfInk, and you'll see me across all social medias. A tattoo artist like myself wants you to be able to do that. I want to be able to see your portfolio just as easily as you can see mine. A lot of people crack on social media, but this is an easy way for nomadic people to put up portfolios, keep them somewhere, and they're there. They're there for if you don't get banned or anything like that, they're there. The picture should be there for you to show someone and showcase your work. You also have old school artists that ain't gonna put up with that shit. They don't want to see it on Instagram. They don't want to see it on social media. That's why I say Google me, because what you gonna say about Google? What you gonna say about Google? You gonna tell me you don't use Google? So yeah, there's that, but always try to have a physical. As a brand new artist and as a brand new person that's trying to apprentice, you need to have portfolios physically on hand. And you can't get around that. When I got my true apprenticeship here in New York City at Black Ink 113th, before they closed, I was apprentice under Caesar. Yes, I'm gonna get into all of that. But when I got into that apprenticeship, guys, I had a pristine portfolio. I mean, like the best of what I could put together, of what I had. And I walked in there, and the same day I walked in there, guys, I kid you not, it was most likely because I'm a female that I got the position, because there were other artists that were just as talented, that were males. Their portfolios, I'm going to be honest with you, my portraits did not become what they are. My portraits did not become the life that they are till I had my last apprenticeship with Black Ink, because a guest artist that came in and totally changed the way that I perceived blending and the values of the advanced placement pencils. I mean, he changed everything that I learned from other studios, unlearned it, and relearned in an hour how to properly blend and do what I had to do. And the thing is, a lot of people don't realize, like, when you are blending, You can't blend with your finger when you're doing a tattoo. So it's important to learn these techniques of how to blend without using a blender, how to blend using the values that you've been given, that you know how to work with. And a lot of artists I've seen on shows where artists go from light to dark, where I'm an artist that, because like I said, it took me 9 years to develop what I do, I go from dark to light. It's what I do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not here to convince you to do any other way. I'm just here to answer y'all questions on how to go about your apprenticeship, how to go about being a tattoo artist. So the next step is, once you have a very, very solid portfolio, walking into the studio that you want to apprentice for and letting them know openly that you want to apprentice. I have found that it's best to be bold about this. It is best to walk in professionally about this. I mean, shit, if you have a business card, that's even more impressive. You have a resume, that's even more impressive on top of a portfolio. To say, hey, I've worked here, here, and there, or I've managed here, or I've done apprentice internship work here. And I also want to stress that an internship and an apprenticeship are totally different, but they are both just as hard to get your hands on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would expect an internship to be like somebody that's behind the desk at a tattoo shop, more like a hostess, you know, somebody that is prepared to book appointments and prepared to manage as well as tattoo. That to me is more of an internship. An apprenticeship is someone who is ready to tattoo and be managed. Someone who can come in and fit right on into the plug. That's a tattoo artist, and that's a tattooer. I did say I was going to get into the difference in those, so let's do that now. The difference in between, to me, being a tattooer and being a tattoo artist. A tattoo artist has the ability to create and replicate. A tattooer has the ability to replicate. So a tattooer is printing stuff off, and they can apply it and tattoo it and make it look just as good as if it was meant to be there the entire time. To me, a tattooer is not someone that is going to sit there and do an illustrative style, or sit down and do a caricature and draw something out of a storybook and tattoo it for you on the spot. To me, a tattoo artist is someone who can create any imagery that you are trying to place forth in your head. They can create it. And not only can they create it, they can handcraft it as well as print it. This is very important, and this is, to me, what separates me from the flock, is that I hand draw everything, because I like having muscle memory out the ass. It's just something that I'm very pristine about. If I go into a shop, I laugh at shop owners, especially when I went to Black Ink Brooklyn, you know, having already been Caesar's, the owner's only Black female apprentice in 2015, I had to laugh at the manager when he was like, well, you know, we could print stuff off for you too. I don't give a shit what you guys have to print off. My point is, I come in prepared. My shit is already ready. These niggas was still trying to figure out the price, and I was halfway through the fucking cover-up tattoo. So, no, it's not easy to tell me what to do in a studio, but that is the benefit to being a tattoo artist. I come in, I call the shots, I leave. It's all on me, my private contracting, and my timing. As a tattooer, you are more dependent on those people. If I would have walked into Black Ink Brooklyn and the manager was like, yeah, we'll print it out for you, a tattooer would have probably most likely been on imposter syndrome, like, yeah, please print it out for me, yeah. No, me, I call percentage, I call time, I call the hour I'm gonna be there, everything. And I let people know, I let shop owners know this in advance. The two shops that I'm currently working at is, and I'm going to totally be honest on my reviews on these shops. I'm not going to hold back. Here we go. Now, because a lot of people might go, well, why did that shop close? Why did you not stay there? When you walk into an environment like a college or whatever, you have people that are all ranges, ages, different maturity levels in different places in their life. It's not high school, not middle school. Not everybody's focused on everybody. If you walk into an environment where everybody's focused on everybody, everybody's in your business, they want to know about your sex life, if you have a girlfriend, if they could be your boyfriend, what timing you're on, how much money you make, they're asking too many questions. I'm just going to be totally real with you. Walk right back out the door with your portfolio. This place is probably not worth your time. You've got 10,000 things that you could be doing to further yourself in your tattoo career, other than sitting up under people that are more concerned about your sex life or being a part of it. walk away fast. And in the case of Black Ink 113, I walked away and I walked away fast. If you're wondering, well, were you on TV? Yes, I was. Season 4, you can see little Mousy with barely any tattoos and tiny little dreadlocks trying to stay out of trouble on Black Ink Crew. 100%. You can see my little self. I was by the DJ at one point, dancing with her, because on God, who else are you gonna dance with at a party full of black drunk people? Then there was, the fact of like safety. I spent a lot of hours at that studio. I opened, I closed. Parties, I was the aftershock. I was the person experiencing the aftershock of cleanup, the aftershock of dealing with people stealing, the aftershock of the hood coming into your space to shoveling it, camera crews coming into your space to shoveling it, shop owner and girlfriend fighting in front of you. I was the epitome of like the celebrity tattoo apprentice that you just did not want to have to fill my shoes. I mean, I was scared to go to work some days. And ultimately, after I got licensed, because, I got a sign off from the shop. After I got licensed, I dipped on 113th. That's the truth. I skedaddled. And I think that if you aren't comfortable in a space, you should do the same thing. As a young black female, just in general, you don't want to be around people that want to abuse you, or do anything to you harmful when you just came there for the knowledge and the trade of tattooing. You did not come for the rest. So that was me, and that's why I left it. My recommendation to you is, if you're in a situation like that where all of a sudden mopping the floors is not enough, leave. That was also one of the reasons when you say, well, why did you apprentice there? It was free. I'm not saying that you're going to get a free apprenticeship from any of the Black Ink Crew studios, because they are actively still on. I don't know if they're still on television, but I highly doubt that you can just walk into Caesar's establishment and ask for an apprenticeship without paying for it these days. He's too big on TV, regardless of what he's done. It's just the honest truth. You're not going to he's probably going to charge you like $3,000 to $5,000, which is reasonable. It is a trade that, when I say it's a doctor trade, once you learn it, you can't unlearn it, and can't nobody take it from you. Even a tattooer can tattoo. You get what I'm saying? Like a tattoo artist can tattoo, and a tattooer can tattoo. A scratcher can tattoo too. But you're never going to have the knowledge, the years, the decades of generational knowledge that you need to tattoo safely. And now I'm going to do the full review, of course, on Black Ink Brooklyn and on Puma Studio and Harlem, which is Art to Ink. I'm going to just totally be real with you guys. Some people might say, well, you're ripping them. I'm not ripping them. I'm just being honest. So at Puma Shop, which I've tattooed at, I think, like 4 times now, and I just guest spot at these studios, guys. I do not let anyone lay claim to me, my business, or what I do, because they don't purchase my supplies. They don't do none of that for me. I do all of that. I am the train. I am the plane. So there is no, you have to be there a certain time and hour and kiss ass. No. I walk in, I walk out. I will tell y'all when I have a client. I do not come in for their walk-ins. I do not want any part of that jurisdiction where any of them could call the shots with me, because they can't. I always try to make sure that studios understand, and shops and parlors, I'm my own beast. And I have my own clientele, and I'm not going to sit there and baby your shop to make you feel any better, or pay a booth rent that I don't need to pay every year, every month. I don't have time. My rent is astronomical out the ass anyways. Who would want to have to pay you on top of all your rules? Okay, so getting into Art to Ink. So when I first tattooed there was an artist there, the lead artist. No, this is like the 3rd time I tattooed there. The lead artist, I finally met him. And he just seemed to be a bit of a cock. Like, I'm not trying to sound funny, but to me, to be at a studio like that, that's on television, there is no pretending to be the best. You have to be the best. And when I checked out the lead artist's work, it seems like he was only getting his following based off the fact that he is now in a direct line from Puma Studio. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's obvious when someone's building their following from being somewhere. And this jack little cocksucker went from like 1,000 followers to 10K followers. Yes, it is easy to pay for your followers, but all I'm saying is that he used the clout of the studio to further his career. And I have to call him out, because I'm gonna be totally real with y'all. Like, he's not the best that I've seen. And it's like, how did you get in here? But what I ended up doing was totally just ignoring him. Every time I've tattooed there, he even honestly, he made my last client, she came all the way from Missouri. He made her uncomfortable. And this is how I knew that he was less experienced in what he's saying. Because when he laid my client down, first of all, she's getting her forearm tattooed. There's no reason for her to lay down. I try to tell clients this all the time, guys. I just saw on Ink Masters, and I have to say this is perhaps the difference between a black woman tattoo artist and a white woman tattoo artist. This bitch on Ink Masters made this guy stand up while he was getting his sternum area tattooed, and he stood there. I have never made a client stand for anything, but just the privilege, y'all, the privilege, because what? Like, when I saw this client get up and stand up, you guys have no idea, like, the difficult clients that I deal with, the canvases that cry, moan, complain, scream, groan, move, do all this other stuff, and I'm seeing that this artist who, one, she did not win, and two, it was an ugly tattoo. I mean, the anatomy of the tattoo was just, it was like, how did you get to Ink Masters? But then again, a privilege, different people, different lifestyles, all in who you know. And apparently I don't know the right people to get me on Ink Masters. So I'm not talking over shit about her. I'm just saying having a client stand up during a tattoo is quite... Anywho, so yeah, this guy, and I'm over here talking about, you know, like we gave her the luxury to lay down. This bitch is making people stand up. But he lays her down. And she instantly set up and was like, I don't want to lay down, when he walked away. And I was like, and then he bragged about, yeah, I know how to treat clients. I'm like, and me and her began to whisper to each other. And she, of course, tipped me privately because she was like, no, you know, because they were hounds. My clients, I've noticed when they go into Art to Ink is always trying to get extra money out of my clients. Puma, I know you don't know this, but your secretary and your lead artist, honey, that's the reason I don't come in there more. Like, they're embarrassing, to say the least. And this is the reason that like I said, I call the shots, because I'm paid usually before I walk in the door, and I'm just accepting my tip while I'm there. And they're paying y'all what they owe y'all. That's how I do. I already cut shit down. I don't give a fuck how the studio feels about it. Like, I have kids to feed, I have bills to pay, I have a cat, husband, all that. So doing what you guys say doesn't work for me. So this lead artist, that's one of the things that he noticed instantly about me, is that, damn, I can't really, like, mold her. No, you can't mold me, baby. I'm sorry. I laugh because I'm like, yo, they don't even know, like, I've already dealt with Caesar. I've already dealt with him. I was his only black female apprentice. So when I walk into y'all shops, I just laugh when you guys think that you know it all. But I'm just keeping it real, Puma. Your lead artist and two of your secretaries. But I do love your studio. I think it's gorgeous. If you guys want to see Puma's studio on my page, you can check it out. I don't know how apprenticeships work there, but I do know that they're always looking for guest artists, which to me I find to be a bit of an insult, especially when I've brought clients in and I'm showing you, hey, I have consistent clientele. But hey, that's also what happens. You got people that cock block in studios. You have lead artists that, you know, they see somebody that's a little bit better than them and they instantly go, how can I put that person in a box? It just so happens that you can't put me in a box. All right, so now I'm going to talk about Black Ink Brooklyn. That is, excuse me, that was my latest studio that I tattooed at. And Black Ink Brooklyn, if you guys don't know, it's located, like Puma shop is located in Harlem. Black Ink Brooklyn is located in Brooklyn off of North Strand Ave. Right across the street from Applebee's. Very accessible, and that's what I do like about it, is it's accessible. You can hop right off the train, and it's right there. If you're hungry, you can go eat. There's plenty of spots to eat, plenty of things to do, less ways for someone like an apprentice to get in trouble. I like that, because when I went into their studio, I'm not gonna lie to you, the only red flag that I saw was there was too many apprentices. I was looking like, where's the artist? And I had begun working already by the time Spider had got there. But let me talk to you guys for a second. I'm just gonna be totally real. I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble with C's. I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble with Black Ink Brooklyn with the manager, because he's the one who offered me to come in there and tattoo. But when I got in there, there was a lot of apprentice. And when I was at Black Ink Studios at 113th in Harlem, there was only one. That was me. And Donna, which nobody really considered Donna an apprentice. Like, I consider her a reality TV show cast member. These are people that don't have to be at the studio every day. I remember people would come in just simply looking for these celebrities, looking for Duchess, looking for Donna, looking for Oh Shit, looking for Walter, Caesar. People would call and prank call us just to try and talk to Donna and talk to C's and talk to Duchess. I mean, it was just blatant all the time. And as an apprentice, you know, you have to answer the phone. So I had to answer the phone. I had to deal with tourists. We also had people that would come in and try to steal, like, the magazines and stuff from tourist groups that were walking in Harlem early mornings. But yeah, there was only one of us, and that was me. And that's because C's was very cost effective. I mean, if I go back and I think about just the usage of stencil paper, these days I am so stingy my damn self because of my training. I mean, literally, you were not to waste even an inch of stencil paper. But these guys, when I walked into Black Ink Brooklyn, I mean, they're just over here wasting resources and sitting around and drawing and laughing and giggling. That was stuff we were not allowed to do. I mean, as an apprentice, I had to hand out flyers on the train, Times Square, all around Harlem. There had to be, you don't let that red BMW, or I think it was white, because Teddy had a white one, Duchess had a red one. You don't let either one pull up, and you're sitting just hee-hee-ha-haing with the manager. And I think that's that sense of privilege, you know, maybe money. Maybe they get paid by the hour, but we did not get paid by the hour. I got paid by setups and breakdowns. And artists would pay me, Caesar would pay me, Duchess would pay me, Oh Shit would pay me, off cast members, Eli. I don't think I ever had to clean up after Envy. Oh Shit would pay me the most. Oh Shit and Angel. Angel was an off-cast member that would end up following Duchess to her studio, Pretty in Ink, in Charlotte. So, you know, there's these opportunities to always go places, but it's simply what you take out of it. And I'm gonna be totally real with you. At Black Ink Brooklyn, I just saw way too many apprentices for them to be getting any type of knowledge. I mean, you got to be right on top of your tattoo artist to be learning from them, and you have to be asking questions from them. If I was smart enough at the time, because I was like 19 when I first started apprenticing for Black Ink Crew, 113th, make a journal. Every single day you need to be documenting what is going on, what you were learning, what you were doing, and even if it was an uneventful day, you need to be documenting that, if anything. And then your lettering sheets. I was told that I needed to do 100 a week. That was Duchess and Caesar's command. When I went into Black Ink Brooklyn, though, I mean, these guys were hardly working, okay? Now let's talk about the lingua. So when I started tattooing my client, by the time I was halfway through, Spider came in. And everybody knows Spider, the bald, chubby one, really loud, tattoos on his head. I think he wears glasses. Everybody knows him as being like Caesar's, you know, biggest lapdog right now. And sorry, Spider, to say that, but it just seems to be the honest to God truth. So apart from, you know, I had no music, nothing going on. I didn't even care about the lights. There was enough lights for me to go, so I just went. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the type of person that needs the ambiance to tattoo. Like, I could tattoo almost anywhere. Not that I want to, but I could tattoo pretty much in the dark. So I just instantly started going. I did not wait for no big beam of light on me. Did not wait for them to start talking to me. Once my client got in the door, I finished up my Lucy and I went inside and started taking care of her. I was halfway through when Caesar, your manager, pulled me aside to start talking to me about the money. First of all, mind your business. Even if you are a manager, y'all got paid. You got paid, and I've only been here for like 2 hours. So I was going to be in and out regardless because I don't do all that talking and none of that. It is a job. part of my career, part of my portfolio. I'm in, I'm out, and I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability and then leave. But this is what I noticed while I was working. I mean, Spider would not shut the fuck up about some color, lipstick red, internal red. Let's talk for a second, guys. Let's talk. You see over there is a bunch. Those are all world famous inks. So Spider, you were accusing someone of stealing from you. This is one thing that I also noticed at Artsy Ink. You guys got some sticky fingers, because I was like, this is such an upscale shop. All you have is apprentice in here. You're one artist screaming about you can't find your color. So who took it? And I'm not rolling with Eternal right now. I'm rolling with world famous. So who took your ink? That was my first red, like, other than seeing a bunch of apprentice, my first red flag was you got missing ink in here. That means you have a thief amongst you guys, and for no reason. You should not have a thief amongst you in a studio that is fully paid for. That's just, I mean, see, we all know how you treated thieves in the past. You know, I even borrowed a machine and got called a thief because I went into the PJs to tattoo because nobody, when I was at 113, nobody wanted me to tattoo without doing a little bit of this. I didn't want to do that. You get what I'm saying? So I left. I didn't want to do that. So I had borrowed a machine, went into the hood, started tattooing Bloods and Crips. I mean, I did what I had to do, you know, to get some practice in before leaving New York, for officially being like, nah, this is just not my vibe, not safe for me. But when I'm seeing these apprentices at this shop and I'm like, he's already talking about he can't find ink and he's got like 6 apprentices in here, one of you had to have taken it. So instantly, and this is right after I poured out my inks, because I poured out a lot of inks for this project, for it to be so, I mean, I was moving. I poured out maybe 10 different variations of colors, apart from my primaries, just to make sure I had what I needed. And I quickly put up all of my supplies, because I'm like, if you got a sticky fingers in here, one, you're not going to say I took anything. 2, y'all got cameras running everywhere. How do you not know where something is? I'm just saying, see, like, if you're asking for a review from the artist standpoint of view, it looked like you had some confused people up in there, and Spider was one of them. I hate to say it. I mean, I hate to hear someone just constantly monologuing about themselves, and that's literally what Spider was doing the entire time. It literally sped up the process for me, because I was like, oh, looking like it's time to go. But yeah, if that answers any of your questions about Black Ink Brooklyn or Harlem, I would want to tattoo in either studio. I just honestly, right now, to me, the artists that are in there just aren't my caliber. And I did find the last thing that the manager said to me to be a bit disrespectful. I had someone that wanted to get a shin piece done, a dragon, and a koi fish. The manager wanted to charge them $1,000 starting. And then this is when I heard Spider in the background on the phone laughing. And that to me is just so disrespectful as a Black woman. We need to have a safer space to be able to tattoo in these studios without you guys trying to rape our pockets. Mind your business. This is what I preach and I say, and if you get upset with me, that's on you. But you cannot call a price for a guest artist if you yourself cannot tattoo that for that price. And I'm also talking about you, Spider, because who's paying you $1,000 for a shin? I know I'm not. Bro. I mean, Duchess tattooed me. Oh shit tattooed me, and I didn't even have to pay them. So who's paying you, bro? Yeah, okay. Let's talk. Okay, so for the last bit of this video, I just want to clarify some things. I am not saying don't go into Black Ink Brooklyn and get a tattoo, guys. Totally go into Black Ink Brooklyn and get a tattoo, especially if you're not from the area and you're pulling up, it's your first time pulling up in Brooklyn and you want to get a tattoo. Duh. Like, come on. The more business, the better. A win is a win. And as far as Artsy Ink goes in Harlem, I really recommend Artsy Ink, because to me, it's all about, I think, not stifling creativity, and it's all about growth. And it's kind of just, it just feels different. I don't know, that part of town, that vibe is different, and it's a really good feeling. And I've enjoyed bringing people from out of state, especially to both studios, so I already know how each can make you feel. And it sucks because it was another studio that I loved deeply. It was called Tattoo a Bitches Club, THC. And it was like in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And I don't know if they're still open because I haven't been around, but the owner told me they closed. And I understand sometimes, like you can be on a hiatus and shut down because of rent. And when the pandemic hit, things just went so south for so many reasons for shop owners. I mean, 2 rents is crazy. And at the end of the day, when I had heard that artist, because that artist has been around longer than me, when I heard that artist was leaving, I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is one of the artists that taught Duchess. You feel me? Like they was around when Black Ink was originally in Brooklyn. And a lot of people, it's crazy because you guys, know the new stuff, but it's like you totally disregard the old stuff. And that's where all the beauty is in the history for a tattoo artist, for people who tattoo, who do the art form. Just knowing where things started and knowing where everyone started. A lot of people don't know they also started up here in the Bronx. And there's also a lot of really heavy hitting historical tattoo shops here in the Bronx that have also been on TV that people don't even realize that is in the Bronx. So New York is just rich in culture and in tattoos in general. And one of the things for me that a lot of people don't realize about me is I'm not from here. And it is one of my stomping grounds. So yes, I do consider myself formidable. I do consider my business to be in demand because I soloed it for all this time. And that's the reason that when I walked into Black Ink Brooklyn, I was shocked by them saying $1,000 for Shin when it's like, bro, I'm the artist. I'm the one who's coming out with all this. And I was just sharing process with the manager, y'all. Like I was just showing him like, this is where we're going, the direction we're going in. You think I'd ever be stupid enough to send you my final draft? Are you dumb? People pay for me to draft up their designs. So it's like for you to go, oh, we would start this at 1,000. I don't give a fuck what you would start it at. Excuse my language. Excuse me, Spider, for if that's disrespectful to you, but I didn't ask all that. And that's what I really told the manager is I'm not even coming for none of that from y'all. I don't want any of your creative process. I was willing to open up to Arts Inc., but like I said, with that lead artist, it's just, with me, it's also a manner of going about being respectful. Don't get mad because you don't know what I'm making. It's none of your business, baby. I teach you how to be a lead artist because I am one, okay? It feels good to say it. Now I'm going to tell you, apart from my experience, what also sets me apart from these artists. Now, one thing that I've always wanted to do that I've never gotten the opportunity to do is to go to conventions. That to me is what will set me apart and make me more elite of an artist, make me more valuable, is if I get to do a few competitions. That is my next goal as an artist. And that is one of the reasons that I choose to go, okay, well, let's see how it's going to work at Arts Inc. Let's see how it's going to work at Black Ink Brooklyn. Because now I am very careful where I want my name brought out and how I want to be foreseen. Whereas in the past when I was working for 113th, it was like, I'm a part of the Black Ink crew. Blah, blah. Like, you're just mad excited. And I had every right to be. I think back again and I say, even though, the studio had closed, it still had very positive times and it had positive effects on me that, yes, I'm still a tattoo artist today despite the odds that are against me in the industry. I listen to how we are talked about on Ink Masters, for example, and I, as a person, as a culture, I'm happy for almost every winner. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's only one winner of Ink Masters where I'm like, we get it. You were the cult classic favorite. You were bound to win. And no, I'm not talking about DJ. I'm scared of DJ. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. This one just kind of dropped off the map, and it's actually a she, but it's not Ryan. Does that give up anything? But just certain people, I'm like, it's just easy to see how the industry is giving you, because of who you are, what the industry is giving you, and what the industry doesn't give to artists of our complexion. And that is the reason that I'm very protective over my craft. That's the reason that when I get these DMs on Instagram and people are asking me how to become a tattoo artist, I don't give the information up, is because I had to go through the process of apprenticing, and it was healthy for me despite even any of the craziness I went through during my apprenticeship. The one thing I can say is I became a tattoo artist. I got the title officially at that moment. And I think that's what's so groundbreaking also is, I don't know about you guys, but that first feeling when you get licensed for the first time, and you know you had to get them signatures, you know you had to mop them floors, you know you had to clean that nasty bathroom. Ain't nothing like 113's bathroom. Let's talk about it. Like, it's cute. You know what y'all be doing on TV now? That's cute. But like the reality of actually working as a non-off cast member, working at a Black Ink studio prior, like after season 4, you guys got it easy. Traditional sense of old C's ways, whatever, because like I said, they was in their parlaying, honey. I would be scared if I was them. Like, bro, when they showed me the password to the Wi-Fi, I was scared. I was like, oh God, he's on his old ways. So, I was like, let me get up out of here. But yes, it's due to my experience that I'm also very chill in those environments. I know that it baffled them, like, how the fuck did she get done so fast? But bro, I have been flown on planes round trip. Okay, I'm on a timer. Real life, what I do. To get back home, to make sure I'm on time to my flights. Layovers, like making sure that I plan every step of the way out so I can make sure I flew there safely and got home safely. And like I said, bringing people from out of state, that's a big deal. And the fact that I decided to bring them to you, I could brought them anywhere. Do you know how many shops would take me in Manhattan? Bro, I just don't go to them. I am very selective. Very selective. Now, if I did choose to go to some of these popular studios, it would only boost me at this point. So it's all just a matter of me taking the time with this last bit of time that I have in New York, because I'm not going to be here forever. Like I'm telling you, this is a high-paced city, and I might have underestimated it. About a decade ago, I might have underestimated this place. With the rapid change and after the pandemic, it's very dangerous to be a traveling tattoo artist, and it is the reason that I have a travel fee. Here in New York, just to get me out of my door, no matter how close you live, is $100. And the reason being is because I need to know that I'm good. I need to know that you are not on any plans. This is all apart from getting tattooed by me. I charge $100 travel fee within the 5 boroughs. And yes, before you ask, I do go as far out to Far Rockaway. I go far, okay? Like where the island could disappear with the water and the train tracks far. So, and that's just within New York. It's not me just, because I've also had to do on the Metro North, going up to Upper State, New Jersey. I frequent Jersey a lot. Flying, like I said, to South Carolina, having clients come from Missouri, having clients come all the way from Italy. That's why I can't be told what to do. All right, so like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. If you're becoming a tattoo artist, are you practicing safely? Will I answer all your questions? Will I apprentice you? I'll just go ahead and tell you no. No, honey. I'm going to put this shit in a book. This is what I'm going to do. And I've already got the book. I need to write in it. I need to journal the rest of my shit out now. Peace.